This is a presentation of Arizona State University's Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College, creating knowledge, mobilizing people, and taking action to improve education.
Hello, everyone. We are live from Innovation Day 2018, talking about ASU's Teachers College.
Good morning. Well, I guess it's actually this afternoon already.
Good afternoon.
Hey, this is Brent Maddin. I'm the Executive Director of Educator Workforce Initiatives and the co-director of the Teacher Prep Program at the Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College.
I'm Punya Mishra. I'm Associate Dean for Scholarship and Innovation at the Teachers College.
And we're here today to share a bit of what we're up to. I think that when you think about colleges of education, teachers' colleges, you think a lot about teachers, and we do a lot of work with teachers. But I think that what's different, especially here in the last couple of years, is that we've started to really push on this idea of who is an educator, and that it's not just a person graduating from a teacher prep college, although that's right now also our bread and butter. But what if we started to think differently about who actually are the educators, and is there a way that we might, in close collaboration with schools and districts, start to bring more of the public back into public education? And so, in part, that's what one of the big innovations that we're working on at the Teachers College, which is also related to the teacher prep work that we're doing, which hopefully, over the course of the next couple of years, you'll begin to see more flexibility in the program, more modularity in the program, more specialization. Because our hope is that the graduates of our program are going to be going out into schools and districts with whom we're partnered, and no longer be singletons in classrooms by themselves, but rather be working on a team of educators coming around groups of kids.
So this is Punya. So if you take what Brent was saying about rethinking what the teacher preparation program is and how we prepare teachers, rethinking what the role of the teacher themselves is within a classroom context, I think it becomes as important to rethink the schools and organizations that they're going to end up in. So a big part of our initiative is also working with schools and school districts as they seek to change and develop and meet the needs of the future. I mean, one of the things that we talk often about is a kid who's in kindergarten today will enter the workforce 20 plus years from now. If you think back 20 years and you think back to now, the careers and jobs and opportunities that are available today, I mean, it still boggles my mind that there is something called a social media coordinator. Like your job is to write 140 characters and send it out to the internet. I mean, my daughter does that work. She's a student here at ASU, so shout out to Shreya. So we are preparing teachers who will be teaching kids who will be entering the workforce or the world of work 20, 25 years from now. So clearly the kinds of organizations that we need, the kinds of structures that we need will be different. So a part of it is starting to rethink the organization structures that we have today. So a big part of what we do, the part of what I lead in this initiative is what we call the design initiatives, where we partner with schools and school districts. And we come in with a collaborative, open-ended approach. So we don't go in with the solutions. We don't even go in identifying problems. We work with the school, with community members, with parents to collaboratively sort of figure out what challenges should we be talking about, and then think about how we could come up with solutions for them. So, for instance, a project we have with Kyrene School District is rethinking a school from bottom up. Like, what would a school for the future look like? At another end, we have with Miami Globe, where we are rethinking the 7-8 curriculum around sort of history. So if you learn science, it is contextualized within a historical context. If you learn math, if you're doing music, it's within that. So it's a range of different initiatives that we have. At our booth here today, we are talking about one school district that we've been working with. I think Brent can speak to that a little bit, which is Avondale.
Yeah.
Where we have, I think for the first time, a new model for how our teachers can work in close collaboration with schools in a very different way. So Brent, maybe you can add a few sentences.
Right.
There.
So when you think about what the average teacher gets when it's say their senior year, the student teaching experience that they would typically have, it's usually something like a single mentor teacher and you get to spend the whole year together if you're lucky. And I hope that you like that person, and I hope that they like you. At the end of the day, hopefully you leave fully formed and often with, unfortunately, with a lot of debt. We are in, again, close work with the district in Avondale pushing on this model. So to our larger vision of what it might be to surround groups of kids with teams of educators, we're trying this out with our teacher prep program. So what we see is that instead of a single teacher with a single mentor, we actually have ASU seniors, say 3 of them, together with a mentor teacher, one of the best people that we could find in the school that's an awesome teacher of kids and an awesome teacher of novice teachers. And so instead of finding 3 of those folks, we only need to find 1. And now what we've got is you've got 4 adults working as a team. And here's the catch. Instead of just being in a single classroom, they're now working across 2 classrooms, 2 learning spaces. So we've got 60 kids, 4 adults. And now here's the really cool part, that our student teachers, who normally were working for free, are actually now getting paid $12,000 each, because instead of staffing one of those classrooms with a long-term sub, the district has innovated, and they've figured out, what if we hired 3 ASU student teachers, this awesome mentor who also gets a bump in salary, and put them together as a team? And to Punya's point, the learning that's now happening in those rooms inevitably has to change, because it's not just sort of a single teacher standing and delivering, but now you've got 4 people. The amount of personalization that can start to happen for kids is such a wildly different concept than anything that we've seen before.
So I think that's sort of one example of many. I'd like to speak to one more, if I may, which is the way we are bringing this sort of design perspective to the work that we do inside the college. So the idea is that if we think such collaborative approaches to innovation and to coming up with new ideas and creativity is important for schools and for teachers, we better be sort of implementing the same thing ourselves. So we have a whole range of our staff members and faculty sort of rethinking practices and things that we've been doing for so long and saying, how can we make it better? How can we do things in a way that's different? So I think overall, if you look at it, this is a college of education situated within, as we so proudly say, the #1, university for innovation, which is part of the reason I think why Brent and I are both here. I mean, I've been here for 2 years. You've been here for a year?
Yep,
maybe
12 short months.
12 months, right? And to be a part of a college of teacher education and teacher preparation, which is willing to ask, I think, very fundamental questions, which we have often sort of just taken for granted, I think is a really powerful and exciting space for us to be.
It's this idea ultimately of principled innovation, right? That we're not doing stuff because it's new, but because we have a hypothesis, and that we can question some of the long-held assumptions, right? That you need a single teacher in a single classroom, and instead start to really push on systematic change, which hopefully, at the end of the day, is addressing what we think of as 3 imperatives: an economic imperative, a democratic imperative, and then this equity imperative. And that together, through principled innovation, we hope to really change the lives of K-12 kids in schools, the teachers with whom they're working, and then ultimately the teacher candidates that we're helping to produce from our college, who are going out now not to be single teachers in single classrooms, but to be teams of adults wrapping around kids to personalize their instruction.
This is a presentation of Arizona State University's Mary Lou Fulton Teachers College, creating knowledge, mobilizing people, and taking action to improve education.